Hey everybody, Fifth Horseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and a couple changes on our list here. First of all, I notice I've got a nobody Kerman in the middle here that I obviously forgot to put somebody's name in. So the next person after Binary Stew, Trix, and Marvin Rock, who are the next ones to get put on the list, I forgot to set you guys' courage and stupidity to exactly 50%. I will do that before the next game starts. You're not flying this time, so it doesn't really matter. And honestly, it doesn't really matter anyway. I just like to have everybody the same, so nobody feels left out, except for Super, who asked for lowest courage and most stupidity. Anybody else who wants lowest courage, most stupidity, you go ahead and ask me and I'll change you. I will not give you maximum courage, lowest stupidity, though. Secondly, look who's back. Voltion is back and ready for another mission. However, he is not going on another mission, because today we are launching Liowen's Tripod Moon Doohickey. There are, though, two new ships that I want to show you guys. First of all, actually there's three. Ankro made a Minmus Visitor, which will go after Sam's Minmus ship, which will be going after Liowen's Tripod Moon Doohickey. Ankro's Minmus Visitor looks like this. Pretty solid looking ship. Lots of solid, speaking of solid, lots of solid rocket boosters on the outside for the size of the ship. So I have a feeling this thing is going to rock up into the atmosphere. And then the other ship I have isn't actually a ship. It's a it's to be put in orbit. But let's just load it here. This thing is crazy. It has tons of probe cores, all connected to each other via docking ports, it looks like. Yeah, Clampatron Juniors. I use those for... I use Clampatron Juniors on my Kerpalo mission. Basically, this is a probe-making factory. Whenever I need to... Like, if I could get this up into space, whenever I needed a probe, I should be able to just take stuff off of here and slap it together and then send that probe off. Here's the problem. Well, here's one of the problems. This is over 300 parts. That's a crazy number of parts. Second of all, it's almost $300,000, which, as I've said, I'm not going to pay that much attention to, but come on, $300,000 for something that doesn't do anything is kind of crazy. I like it. It's very ambitious. However, I don't think it has a place in my space program. For the amount of money that I would spend setting this thing up, that then actually has to wait for something to do, I could just launch up like 8 missions and do those things one at a time. So, yeah, I like the concept. I would love to see you do it on your on your series, but sadly, I don't even know who made this for me. It's too many names. Too many Trix, one of the new guys. Yeah, it like I said, cool looking. Not gonna fly it. What we are gonna fly is and then I want to show you the Broomstick Fuel Slug from Regex. Made this for me, and he embraced clipping. I'm not going to say I won't accept clipping, because obviously I'm going to fly this, but I'm not a super huge fan of it. For myself, I'll fly anything you guys send me, except for that crazy space station. But anything that has an actual purpose. And this does have a purpose. This is to get this fuel tank into orbit. Now, there's a problem with your ship, Regex, though. And I don't need this, because I have this on the pods already. But actually, there's no pod on this thing. If I try to launch it, it's going to say... Oh, well, first of all, it's going to tell me that I can't. But I don't see a command pod. Now, it's in theory, you could have clipped a probe core in here somewhere. So when I do have this unlocked, I'll try to launch it, but I think it's going to tell me, sorry, you can't do that because you don't have a probe core installed. So anyway, that's Regex's ship. All this does is get a fuel tank up in orbit, and it's going to be basically, it's going to be a place I can refuel if I ever need to. So I kind of like that concept. And I totally clicked the wrong button. There we go. Now we're going to load, finally we're going to load the actual ship we're going to be flying. Nice little 35-parter. Liowen's Moon Tripod Moon Doohickey. This was made, he made this before I had Science Bay's unlocked. Not a big deal. I'll fly without it. It's got a nice, good over 8,000 meters per second, so it shouldn't be any trouble getting to the moon. It's $30,000. It's less than a tenth of what I have, so that shouldn't be a problem. So we are going to send this thing out to the launch pad. And I just remembered something I want to do after that. But before we do anything, let's set up our abort sequence. There we go, nice and simple. Just decouple this and activate this engine. The rest we can do once we have actually aborted. And then we're going to set our crew to be, not me, Liowen Kerman, there you are. You are now on the ship, and now we are going to launch. Okay, now we are going to leave Liowen here for a moment, and we are going to go back to the Space Center. Because before any flight, you want to check out your contracts and see what's available. Science data from space around the moon. Well, we're going to the moon, and we're doing it for science, so we might as well accept this contract. Talk about free money. Test the hydraulic detachment manifold. Well, that's not going to happen. Poodle's not going to happen here. Rescue Macguard Kerman. Oh, God, I can't say it. Kerman from Kerbin. Sadly, that's not really in the cards because this is only a one-seater. Explore Duna, Explore Ike. Test a parachute. I think actually we have this parachute. This might be, I don't think, XL I think is the big one, but you know what, I'm going to accept it just in case. And then test a radial decoupler on an escape trajectory out of the moon. I'm going to accept this in the hopes that I can somehow get that. I have no idea if that's going to work, but we're going to find out together. So we're going to go to his doohickey. Okay, so we're going to turn the computer on. We're going to crank up the volume. There are no solids on this guy. I am going to bring out my... Where is my Kerbal Engineer? I need my Kerbal Engineer. I refuse to live without my Kerbal Engineer, but apparently I don't have my Kerbal Engineer. Tell you what, we'll live without it. In 3, 2, 1, launch. Okay, I'm glad I throttled all the way up. It looks like just the 4 outside engines are going. Let's turn this off. Let's get our contracts up here. Drag them down. Okay, science data from space around the moon. We're definitely okay. Mark 16 parachute on a flight over Kerbin. Yeah, this is that one that we didn't actually get, and I think these are not Mark 16s. Yeah, so we don't have any Mark 16s on this guy, so this is not a mission we can do. So we don't want that. And text rocketback skipper engine, don't have that. Radial decoupler, we want to check that out. I think, sadly, though, we don't have any. We only have these radial decouplers. There's no way I'm bringing these all the way to moon just to test them there. I should probably start my gravity turn. What do you think about that? Just crank it right over to the 45. Or a little bit farther than the 45. We're about to lose our engines. Oddly, the fuel is draining out of these two slightly more than it's draining out of these two, so I'm going to hit the spacebar when this happens and just hope that the game, that he set this up right. And he set it up right. Good job. Thank you for setting it up right. Okay, so now we're just going to run with these for a little bit. And then when we ditch these, there we go. Okay, let's go to map mode because we don't have there we go, we're at 40, so let's bring this down here a little bit. We got plant a flag on the moon, test the parachute, test the radial decoupler, not going to happen. So really the only thing we can hope to do is plant a flag on the moon. Not a big deal. I mean, these missions aren't to do contracts, but it's nice to get them, simply to have them. I wanted to show you here, I installed Kerbal Alarm Clock. I keep forgetting to talk about the mods that I've installed. I've already added a Moon to Minmus window, just in case we hit it next episode. I wanted to have it up there, because I figure if I can get to Minmus via Moon, that'll save me a little bit of fuel on those ships you guys have built me. But I don't want to add an alarm. I want to configure this guy, because I want to recalc SOI alarms and detect and add SOI alarms for sphere of influence changes. I want to put up a background alarm SOI change. I want to exclude deviated Kerbals from those SOI alarms because those get annoying. And I want to do this 0 minutes and 1 second before the SOI. And I want to just kill time warp. Actually, I want to pause the game. I also want to detect and add alarms for maneuver nodes. Remove auto alarms if maneuver node is removed. I'm going to leave that off because I kind of like that. It's going to be 3 minutes before, and I want to pause the game on this one too. And I'm going to leave this off because I'm not sure what that does. Those are the two most important things for me. So I'm going to close this up. And now you see we have a maneuver node alarm here. So, or not, sorry, a sphere of influence change. So I don't have to worry about slowing down, because Kerbal Alarm Clock does it for me. And I love that about that mod. So we got a moon encounter. It's not the best in the world, but you know what? I don't care about best. I care about funnest. So I'm gonna burn radially inward here. I'm not even gonna set up a maneuver node because I'm a boss. But we're heading roughly this direction. So if I aim myself roughly this direction, that's probably good. And then I burn inwards. It's going to lower our periapsis. We'll get it down to about, say, 15 or so. Oh, 10. Okay, 10's fine. The highest mountains are like 8 or 7,000 meters off the thing. So now we're going to set up a maneuver node, and look, it draws that maneuver node instantly for me, which is awesome. So we're just going to bring this down. Nice low orbit. And then that's the next thing to happen. So let's go into pretty mode, and actually this might be a good time to turn on my screenshotter here. Unless we see a better one. Okay, delete on close. I need to make delete on close the default here. Close the alarm and unpause. Okay, we need to aim ourselves retrograde. It's telling me it's a 17-second burn. I'm not 100% sure I have 17 seconds of fuel left in this tank. I hope I do, because the last thing I want is to leave this thing in orbit around the moon. I think if I start to get really low, as long as I've achieved orbit, I'm going to preferentially not make my orbit nice and circular. I might bring it out to the apoapsis so I can crash this thing into the moon. But we've got 17 seconds here before the actual thing. We are really close to the surface. I guess we're not as close as I thought. But let's see. We got to go down to about 10 seconds or so. And at, say, about 8. Well, let's do it at 9. We're going to slow this thing down. We're watching our fuel. We're on the dark side, but we've got the nice thing. Oh, yeah, we got plenty of fuel. I don't know what I was worried about. We're going to do this, and then the rest of this I'm going to do by look. We can actually slow down a decent amount here. We just don't want our periapsis to get too low, and it basically is already. So let's get to that periapsis. And now we'll slow down to bring our apoapsis down. We need to decide where we're going to land here. Basically, we need to look at the moon. We could try to land near the Armstrong Memorial, which is somewhere around here. And I think that's not a bad idea, really, when it comes down to it. I know it's these 3 craters. It's like right here, if I remember correctly, which is very possible I don't. Like this flat area right here. So, if I go to roughly our apoapsis here, set up a maneuver node, we can fly over, we can do one orbit to see where we are, because the sun's directly overhead, so that's awesome. We can do one orbit to try to eyeball it, to make sure it's where I think it is, and then the next orbit will come around and do that. I think that's the way we're going to do it. Oh, look at that Kerbin Rise. You got to take that one. Let's go ahead and delete this alarm, close the alarm and unpause. I think that right there, this is probably going to be the screenshot. And we're looking down here. And what I think is it these 3 craters? No, I don't know. No, it's farther forward. I think it's these three craters. I think it's this area right here. Somewhere around here, I think, is where it is. I'm just looking for that telltale flicker. The telltale flicker and flash. And it might be farther north, but I'm pretty sure it's like right around here somewhere. It's not there. I might be too high to see it. And I'm willing to just say, well, I'm not going to get it. That's what it looks like I'm going to have to do. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for this thing. But if I do see it, I'm going to go for it. Might be up here. I just remember it's kind of in a flat area near these three craters right here. I landed there once. I could look it up, but I'm not going to, because that's no fun. Okay, well, speaking of no fun, I'm not going to make you watch me look for this. Okay, without engineer, I'm not 100% sure what needs to be done here. But we have this thing. It says it's going to take 22 seconds to burn. Again, I'm not 100% sure we have 22 seconds of fuel in our tank. So I think I am going to wait until we're about, say, a minute away. And do most of the burn right there. And then when this thing runs out, we'll kick it out and then go for that. And as long as we land anywhere on this flat region here, or really anywhere, I don't care. This is a pretty squat probe. I think we'll be fine. I'm just going to hit the gas here. Kill some of our velocity. Also just realized that up is not up on my nav ball, and I always prefer that. Looks like we are going to run out of fuel, but we'll be way low. Actually, I don't think we are going to run out of fuel. We might actually get this burn done. We're going to bring this thing down with us most of the way. That's pretty awesome. Let's kill our horizontal velocity. So we come straight down. I hate to come straight down on the moon from 6 kilometers up. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to. It's just nice. It looks nice and flat down there is my thoughts. Okay. Now this guy can't have more than about 50, maybe 100 at most meters per second left in him. So I'm going to get down to... Let's see, and where's the sun? The sun is really close overhead. Let's go ahead and open our landing gear. Because we're just going to use this thing to slow us down as much as possible. Because, yeah, and you have to plant a flag. So we are coming down at about 100 meters per second. So I think I'm going to use up the fuel in this guy. Oh, that was bad. I had a lot more than 100 meters per second. I might still have 100 meters per second. So let's go into physics warp here to speed this up. Okay. Still not seeing anything that looks like the thing here. Okay, let's... This thing is lasting me a surprisingly long amount of time. Okay, still pretty good thrust to weight, so I'm not concerned. We're still in orbit mode. That's bad. I'm glad I saw that. That would have been bad. Okay, now let's just come down. Nice and steady. Very nicely done. Nicely done, Liowen. You win. Okay, actually, why are we doing this when we have this? Let's do a mystery goo, a crew report. Keep those. Do our EVA report. Let's go ahead and plant our flag over by this rock here. Come on, get up. Plant your flag. And of course, this contract was from... Oh, it doesn't say who it was from. Okay, we're going to say the contract was from the Coca-Cola bottling company. Coca-Cola tastes even better in space. He was paid to do that. Actually, we were paid to do that. So now the Coca-Cola bottling company will always have a presence on the moon. That's what they pay us for, and we are Happy to oblige. Okay. Liowen, get in your ship. It is time to go home. I still wish I knew where that was, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, this is north, so this is east. We're just going to take off and go pretty directly east. Again, we'll look for the memorial as we fly away here. But I don't think we're going to see it. Yeah. No such luck. Oh well, we got to watch our apoapsis here as it climbs. Okay, I think we're fine as far as that's concerned. So now we can watch the rest of this here. Why is that on there? Get rid of it. Okay. Nothing? Oh well. And actually, you know what? I could just burn back to Kerbin. Let's do it. Let's just burn back to Kerbin. Not the most efficient, but who cares? Okay, we're getting really close here. I'm going to get my apoapsis down to about 30. There we go. And we're good to go. Very uneventful for once. I'm finally have a mission where things went right. Nice craft, Liowen. I enjoyed playing it. I am, though, going to readjust my staging because I'm going to try to save as much of this craft as possible. And I think with 2 parachutes, we were going to have no trouble recovering the rest of this craft. I'm just going to leave his landing gear down, too. Unless we land in the ocean. And even then, we might land slow enough that it'll be fine. I have no idea if we're landed on the ground or not. Looks like we're probably not. There's lots of not ground here. So much so that I'm going to have some fun. What is this looking like? I don't want to be on Moon anymore. There we go. We have a chance. If we burn straight up. Do not try this at home, kids. Okay, we're gonna see what that does for us. It probably isn't gonna help, but I'm trying to keep our slowdown from happening until. I mean, I got my periapsis up to 42, so actually I might have screwed up my orbit, and I'm not gonna come down anymore. I'm gonna burn retrograde. I'm gonna use up all my fuel. Why not? Got nothing better to do. Let's burn straight down. That works, right? Okay. Now let's see what this does for us. I don't think it's gonna slow us down enough. We're gonna do another orbit because I panicked at the end, but it'll give us a chance to actually land on not water, which I would honestly prefer. And here we come. Nice big continent. Hopefully, there's a really good chance that we're going to end up somewhere along here. So this is good. Yeah, I popped the chutes, but they're not actually, we're too high up in the atmosphere for them to trigger. So we might actually go back up. Yeah, it looks like we are going back up. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, and we're about to hit the atmosphere again. This is probably actually makes it more likely that we'll land on land, though, assuming we come down this orbit. Seriously, it's going to be another orbit. Okay, no flames yet, but our apoapsis is now within the atmosphere. So I figured I'd bring you back for this. We're doing this whole thing at 4 times time warp. I have no idea how long it's going to take him to get down, but he's definitely coming down this orbit. His periapsis is going down. His apoapsis. He's heading towards apoapsis, so he's actually going upward. Okay, our periapsis is gone. I'm going to say there's no chance at all we're going to make it all the way to land. Especially because I've already staged my parachutes, so when I get low enough, they're going to trigger. Tantalizingly, we can see the big crater coming up. So all these orbits were for naught. I could have just let it go and it would have landed about where it's going to land now. Which is just off the shore. Okay, oh, look at that. Moon's rising. We're coming back down. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if... there goes the chutes. Really slowing us down. I don't know if these the engine and the fuel tank will survive a splashdown. I did find out that if you recover debris, even though it doesn't tell you that it's giving you the money, it still gives you the money. That's something I have found out. And there go the parachutes, coming down at a very low 5 meters per second. I think the impact tolerance of these things is about 7, which implies that we might survive. And my cat agrees. And the ship survived. So all that was useless. We didn't need to do all the junk we did. Okay, head on out here. Let's see if we can get this EVA report. It's not going to let you. Can you get up on the landing gear here? No. Okay, we're going to recover you, and we'll be back for the ship later. Okay, you had a very small amount of science on you, but that's pittance compared to the science in your craft, which is right here. We're going to recover that. Of course, I'm sure. It was worth 93 science, so that's going to unlock us one more tech node. We've got 20 grand in funds, 42%, and no crew. Very well done, Liowen. I liked your ship. Let's go ahead and research this tech node so that we can see what we're doing here. Oh, we got RCS jets now. Better probe cores, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and research that. And then next is the all-important Oxstat photovoltaic panels, which is going to make everything easier. I just start designing your craft, assuming by the time I get to you, you're going to have these, because I will. And then let's just, for the fun of it, let's check out any more things here. Flight over Kerbin. Flight over Kerbin, rescue this dude, and explore Duna and Ike. See, if you made me a ship that could go to both Duna and Ike, I could get both of these contracts, and you could be responsible for them. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. Next episode, we're going to Minmus, which I think is awesome. We are going to take, not Ankro, we're going to take Sam's Minmus Murdoch. I don't know what Minmus Murdoch means. See, I have the new Kerbal Engineer, and I'm wondering if my thing to put the things in all pods isn't working. But this looks a decent amount like Liowen's ship. It's got some boosters on the bottom. It's got some solids, which are always happy. It's got some fuel tanks. It's a little bit taller, but that's okay when you're landing on Minmus. What it doesn't have is any decouplers up here, but I haven't been using those anyway. We got 4 goo containers, so we're talking probably high over Minmus, low over Minmus, and then 2 biomes. And yeah, that looks pretty good. It's got 2 parachutes. It can transmit data back, but it doesn't have any power generation capability, so I'll probably not do that. But yeah, this is what we're going to be launching next episode. And oh wait, we got 2 contracts. What did we get? We got the plant a flag on the moon, and we got science data. Oh, space around the moon. There you go. See, look at that. We're racking up the money here. See, we're actually earning money from these missions that aren't supposed to earn any money. That's hilarious. That's like I'm never going to run another pure mission run again. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I enjoyed playing it. I am Fifth Horseman, and I will, as always, talk at you later. Oh, and don't forget to send your ships to pulpaudioweekly@gmail.com. Bye.